Welcome to Health Oddity, the show that strips away the jargon and hype surrounding all things health and fitness to help you live a long, strong and energetic life. Lining up at the bar this week, here's Peter Lant and James St. Pierre.
Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity podcast, episode 280. It is, if you're listening on the day of release, the 9th of January. So everything's been on TV over Christmas and New Year. We can talk freely with our guests today. Everyone will have watched whatever they were going to watch over Christmas in terms of World's Strongest Man and things like that. So there's no need to keep secrets any longer. Mr. Peter Lant, how are you doing? You okay?
I recorded it all and I'm going to watch it in February, so don't tell me. Don't tell us anything.
Okay. Before we start, I do just have to have a quick shout out to Jeanette Dunridge from Scotland, who was a guest recently. We met Jeanette up at the Donald Dinny Day last August, and her and Roger came on as guests. And she has an artisan chocolatiers, which I know our guest, Mr. Paddy Haynes, is a big fan of chocky milk. He probably likes chocolate as well. It's an artisan chocolatiers, and it's called Bee Chocolate. So it's Bee Chocolate Co. On Instagram, and it's kind of smooth dark chocolate with just 3 ingredients. It's got cacao butter, and honey. Hence the Bee Chocolate. So we will be testing that, won't we, Pete? And
I'll be testing all of that, yeah.
And we'll be feeding back very soon on how that was. Now, we are joined. Now, first of all, I will say we're not going to tread over old ground. Our guest today, we'll say hello to him first of all. Mr. Paddy Haynes. How are you doing, Paddy?
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
Excellent.
We've got a sofa bed in it. No.
Yeah.
So we're joined by Paddy Haynes. Now, we had Paddy on earlier in the year, back early March, for 2 episodes. So if you didn't listen to that one, I would recommend going back to that. It's episode 237. Now, that one was called The Dark Horse with Paddy Haynes. And that came out in March. And that was just after Britain's Strongest Man last year, 2025. I believe where Paddy finished 4th in that. Was that right, Paddy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, he finished 4th in the Brits, but then we got him on soon after that. But I think it's fair to say it's been, since we spoke to Paddy, it must just be coming on the podcast. He has shot up, in terms of what's happened since the last one. So really I'm not going to go over. In the last podcast, we talked to Paddy about, when he was growing up on a farm, went to university, all his endurance training, getting into strength training. We're not going to go over all of kind of how Paddy got into strength and strongman. So if you want to hear all that, go back and listen to the last one. This one, we're very much picking up kind of, from where we finished earlier in the year and what's happened in 2025, because it's been pretty incredible. Paddy, I mean, I'll just quickly say,
can I ask the first question?
Yeah, go on then.
Paddy, have you been up to much since we last spoke to you?
It's been a bit of a slow year, to be honest, Peter. I don't really have much to say.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.
I mean, Paddy, just we'll talk about it all, but I mean, Paddy you won England's Strongest Man. You were 2nd at Europe's Strongest Man. You were 5th in World's Strongest Man. So, I mean, you went to the finals in your first time qualifying for World's Strongest Man. You were 3rd, I think, at the Strongman Classic in the Royal Albert Hall, where I saw you there. You broke the Husafell world record in Iceland with a massive, 109 meters, I think. You broke the shield carry world record at Europe's Strongest Man, 90 meters, bar 1 centimeter. You've got 1,000 pound deadlift. Okay. 1,000 pound deadlift. I mean, you've just been, well, that's the rundown, but I mean, the year you've had has been pretty incredible. I mean, how are you feeling now at the end of, I mean, we'll let it out the bag. It's not, we're recording this just before Christmas, and Paddy's in the middle of a house move as well. So, and he's got engaged this year, I think.
Biggest
Yes.
achievement.
So
Lock that one down.
write that one down. So, I mean, coming to the end of 2025, I mean, how do you process what the year's been like? I mean, do you sit down and review the year? Do you, I mean, yeah, how are you feeling at the end of 2025?
Honestly, like, yeah, that's quite a cool list you've just reeled off, and like, I guess it hasn't really sunk in still, but what we've managed to do this year was like way ahead of like any expectations. Like, I always thought like I'd get to World's Strongest Man, and that would be that. And then just being there, like, there's a clear goal now for me of like I could actually win this thing. Do you know what I mean? So,
Mm,
um, yeah. To answer your question, it's probably something I'm quite bad at naturally is being proud of myself and sitting down and reviewing and being like, you know, overall it's been pretty good because I'm just hungry on the next goal. Like there's always a step up on the podium or there's always a bigger comp. So for me, it's just like crack on. But that being said, there are some things we've done this year which I do watch quite a lot, or I do look back on, and I can be really proud of myself because, I've done some stuff, and I am very proud.
excellent. And I mean, so finishing Brits, I mean, that kind of earlier in the year where you came fourth in Brits, I mean, that was quite big at the time, I think, in
Mhm.
terms of you, it kind of announced you on the kind of stage of Giants Live as being a, if you like, being a contender, someone who's up there in the, and can and can, podium in those kind of shows, and you're up there, you deserve to be there, you're mixing it with all the top guys. But then, I mean, all the Giants, I mean, I think you've probably done, is it 9 or 10 big
Yeah.
events, big shows this year, and I mean, that must take, I mean, you're not 30 yet, are you? Are you still late 20s? 27,
Mid
28,
to late, let's
mid
say.
to
I'm
mid to
28.
late, sorry. 20, what are you, 20, 27 still?
I'm still
27?
rounding down to mid 20s.
Mid
I'm 28.
20s, okay. Yeah, so I mean, and you're still a young guy, obviously. And I mean, in this sport, people can continue to improve and make progress and compete at the very highest level. Um, you know, mid late 30s, 40. I
Mhm.
mean, Mark Felix aside, who's just like, 57 or whatever he is, but most people, certainly you're going to keep progressing probably for the next decade.
Mhm.
I mean, what has changed? Has anything changed in the last year to get you that big, or is this just consistency and you've been doing the same thing for the last few years, and this year everything's just started to click?
I think like certainly nothing has changed. Like I've been putting on body weight gradually since, when I was about 68 kilos consistently. I've not done anything mad. I've done everything like very long term. That's always been my goal, very sensible. Home
Mm,
life has got a hell of a lot better this year. Obviously, the addition of Daisy has been unreal, and like I give her a lot of the credit. But
mm,
genuinely, I'm just happier. I've prioritized my training. So I got out of my job in 2023. I had a full-time job working in finance, which I hated. So that first year of being like self-employed was really like struggling to make ends meet. I was like going sort of bill to bill almost like I wasn't thriving, but I was happy because I was self-employed.
mm,
And then I think since that this year, like my businesses are all doing a lot better.
mm,
I've been a lot more sort of like financially comfortable as well. So having that, having a like solid home life and just being able to focus on training, and also like your recovery as opposed to
mm,
working, training when you can. It was more like I'm going to train at this time in the day because that's when I prefer training. Everything else can sort of work around that. And I think just being consistent, like I said, is like that's what's
mm.
caused this.
Because I watched one of your videos, I think either earlier this week or last week, where you were putting in more of a dedicated sort of recovery
Hmm.
day where you were going and you were doing like sauna, you were doing like an ice tub. I think you were having physio on the same day and doing some kind of
Yeah.
accessory movements and sort of rehab or prehab type stuff as well.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
weird one that because like my body hasn't really ever let me down before, and like we hit at the Rogue, we'll go into it, I'm sure, but like complete fatigue. Like my body was we'd covered up niggles for too long. Like my body just needed a break, and we found that out. And it's the first time like this prep where I've had to really focus on actually getting myself recovered and fixed and not just sort of like okay. Like we're trying to get
Mm.
me completely fresh for the new season, and yeah, we've had to sort of start exploring new options, which is really fun. But it's just another, it's as you get bigger and the weights get heavier, and you do get a little bit older. I know I'm 28, so saying that sounds ridiculous, but my training age is getting older.
Yeah.
Looking after yourself is harder. Just being heavier. Like I'm 15 kilo heavier than I was at Brits this year, pretty much. And yeah, just being heavier and walking around like takes its toll.
Mm. It's interesting because I know that, like we said about longevity within the sport, and potentially you can keep progressing at the highest level for another decade, at least potentially. But it is strange, isn't it? Because as you start, even like you say, you're 28 now, but you'll notice even when you're like 32, 35, that I mean, both of us, we're like, I'm 47, you're 48, so we're kind of
I'm
like
I'm extremely late 20s.
extreme late 20s, yeah. So we're kind of 20 years older, and just training. Obviously, we're not doing anywhere near the amount of the load that you're putting through your body. But niggles just take longer to recover from, and things you pick up an injury, and when you're in your 20s, you bounce back within 2 weeks. It's sometimes months, as you and I think that at your age now, taking that proactive approach to recovery and prehab and all this kind of stuff is going to set you in good stead for the next sort of 5 or 10 years, because you probably can bounce back from injuries quite quickly at the moment. But that's going to take more of a toll, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But like you say with the long term thing, like I'm in a perfect spot for that because if anything, you would argue that what I'm lacking in my like arsenal is just the brute power. The athleticism and stuff's there. So like
Mm.
the strength can build over time. That's fine. Like right now I've got £1,000 deadlift. I've got just shy of a 180 log. Like it's not like where I want it to be, but like where is it going to be in 5 years? Do you know what I mean? Like it's really exciting for me that because like even if I gain 5 kilo on my overhead a year, 10 kilo on my deadlift a year, like that's suddenly crazy in like five,
Oh,
six more years.
yeah, in 5 or 6 years, you're going to be up towards like the 500 kilo deadlift, aren't you? You know what I
It's
mean?
so funny because I would never have said that in a million years. Like I
Mm.
honestly like I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be like I'm going to win World Strongest Man when I'm 20.
Mm.
I'm not going to I'm going to go for deadlift 500 kilo. I'd never say stuff like that. And now like we've pulled 1,000, like it's just like chuck 20 kilo of timber on me, like good weight.
Mm.
I truly believe I will pull 500 kilo before like I retire, like 100%.
What's
Yeah.
great as well is you spoke about the athleticism because I think with you as well, because like you've got bigger and bigger and bigger, but when you come on, you still do your big old knees to chest, which and you're like it's like Michael Jordan or something, but a bigger version. And that's brilliant because if you can keep that, that's like just keeping away from injury as much as possible, isn't it? Being able to do things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of that's on my coach, John. Like he's the bigger you get, the more you eat, you have to do more and more conditioning. But the goal is always for me to move the same, no matter how heavy I've got. You've seen it with like previous athletes, especially when they go chasing a world record or something and they put the weight on and you just lose that sort of like X factor, in my opinion. Like, like, I'm probably the best in the world at the minute at carrying things from one point to another, which is a fantastic claim to fame. But like, I'm not going to bulk up unnecessarily and like become bad at that to chase another 10 kilo on my log press. You know what I mean? Like, it's keeping that balance. And there's going to be comps where I need to go in heavier, and there's going to be comps where I need to go in athletic. But it's about putting the work in and making sure you're still well-rounded enough and not just being a lump.
Mm. Yeah, because I think one of the guys we've had on a lot, American strength coach called Dan John, says you compete with your strengths and build on your weaknesses. And you know what I mean? While you're so you want to keep your strengths, don't
Yeah.
you? But then just build up well, they're not exactly weaknesses now, but areas that you can improve on. Because I think when you did the 1,000 pound deadlift, you were around 130 kilos. I
Yeah.
think so. That was it's a 3.5 times body weight deadlift, isn't it? Which is huge. And I mean, you see some really small. You see like maybe people in the sort of who weigh 70 or 80 kilos who do say 3.5 times body weight, but to be
Mhm.
130 kilos and do three and a half, well, 3.5 times body weight. I mean, if you could, I mean, what are you thinking? Because when we spoke last time, you did say that you had bulked up at one stage to like quite a lot heavier, and you hadn't felt good. So you stripped back a bit. I mean, with the way you're doing it now, like you say, putting on the good weight and doing it gradually. I mean, what do you see? Do you see that you could be competing in a couple of years at like 140, 145 kilos? Is that kind of where you maybe see yourself getting to?
Yeah. Yeah, certainly 140. It begin with a four, basically. 140s would be good.
Mm,
I think you see it quite a lot with guys, and um, like if you look at old footage of like Thor, he used to be quite chubby and then got lean. Luke Stoltman, exactly the same thing. I think you almost like with my type of frame, you have to have a bit of a podgy phase to get to that size because I've been trying
mm,
so hard to gain weight slowly and I'm not a good gainer. Like at up to Worlds I was doing 7,500 calories and I know there's guys on more than that, but
mm.
realistically with me and my frame and my diary, like that is about my limit. Like honestly, like it was awful. Um,
Yeah.
we'd have to add another liter of chalky milk in a day, and I don't think my guts are up to that. It's hard, but like I do think like when we're in the house, I'll be able to just reduce the amount I'm moving, and probably stress will come down, so the weight might sort of bounce back up. But yeah, just really slowly. Like the scales honestly don't matter. That's the thing.
Mm.
It's where you feel good. I know Loz always used to say like he felt his best like deadlifting sort of around the 140s, and I think he got up to about 170 at his heaviest. So um,
Mm.
for me, I try not to get hung up on that. Obviously, everyone comes up to me and like you get called the lightest guy or the smallest guy, and like that does sort of play on my mind a bit. And like it's fine, like because it's true, like it is what it is. But like after a while, you do get a bit pissed off, like just being the small guy all the time, or like it's like. I remember I think I said to someone asked me about England's down the pub because like my jerseys are on the wall and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, is that a weight class thing then?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a big guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not Eddie Hall."
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like you're like you say, you are strong enough now to compete at the height, fifth at the world's strongest man. You are competing at the highest level in the world, um, as you are now, or even as you were then, which was when was the world's? Was it April, May time?
December, I think.
Oh. New Year's Day,
It-
New Year's Day.
it's
Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was 8 days ago, mate. No, it's in May.
yeah. Mate, yeah, so you're probably even a bit bigger than you were then now.
Yeah.
So you are competing at the highest level at the weight that you're at, and you're winning events, like you say, and you're holding world records and you're doing amazing things. So it would be pointless for you to try and blow up to 170, wouldn't it, or 160? It's just
Exactly.
yeah.
It was a fun, I don't know. We did a bit of a quiz at the farm, and one of the questions was basically there was one comp this year where I didn't win an event in, which was the final of Worlds. So
Mm.
everything else, I'm winning at least one event per comp. Like we're doing something right. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
Mm.
if I can keep around here and just get stronger, I think I'll be pretty deadly.
Mm. And I think even the event that kind of, I think it's the last event you did in 2025 was the Rogue Invitational. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because I mean, even that event, like where you say, we'll talk about that in a bit, where you'd been had a really hard year, your body just started to give up on you or to shut down on you, but you still went out and you won what was probably the I say hardest in inverted, yeah, that the event that you absolutely blitzed was the yoke carry into the power stairs, and
Hmm.
you won that by I think like 30 seconds or something ahead of the next person, and most people didn't even finish it. Um, and that was a true world class lineup, wasn't it, at the Rogue Invitational?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's crazy. It's
yeah,
arguably better than the world's final just because you don't have to qualify and they can just pick the
yeah,
strongest people.
yeah.
Um, Shame to not have Thor in there, but other than that, it was pretty much like you couldn't pick many other people to be in there.
Yeah, yeah. And how was it? How did that come about? Because you mentioned Thor earlier with because I was going to say I think they call it like a body recomposition, don't they? Where you get like heavy and you maybe get, a bit fluffy and a bit fat, and then you recomposition at that
Mhm.
weight because you've got that much bulk that you can put the muscle on underneath, and then you kind of you shred up a little bit from there. But how did it come about that you went and did the Iceland's Strongest Man with Thor and Evans? Because you
Yeah,
you didn't get invited over for that.
It was a weird one that because I saw Thor put like a story up and he said like, any international athletes that want to come and compete, obviously you don't get the title, but like just come and have a fun trip. And I didn't really, I've met Thor, but I didn't really know him at that point. And I was like in his DMs, like his little brother, basically, like, take me. And he was well up for it, to be fair. And like, I'd always wanted to go and lift the Husfell stone. I didn't think I'd do what I'd do. Do you know what I mean? But like, I thought I'd have a good crack. Um, and yeah, I think he started to regret inviting me after day one because I really pushed him because I had like the perfect set of events. But oh, what an experience that was. And what a guy Thor is. Like I was in his house, he put us up, like fed us. Like I lived like Thor, so like all his like he has like his dad's his chef and stuff like that. But oh
Yeah.
man, that was cool. That was one of my favorite trips for sure. It's just a shame Daisy wasn't there.
Oh yeah, I just missed it because when I went out there for the Magnus Classic, which unfortunately you weren't at. I totally understand. You just you're so much so that would
Oh God,
have.
no.
But
Magnus was there at the Rogue, and I was like, I'm sorry I pulled out, but like look at the state of me, and he was like, don't worry. There's
because
no bad blood
I
there.
just missed Thor at the airport because we went. I flew out, landed in Iceland, and then we were waiting for like Loz and Liz and I think Chris Beetham as well. We were waiting at the airport, and then Loz came through and said, "Oh, we've just seen Thor. He's just flying to America." So
Mm.
we just kind of missed. They crossed at the airport, you know.
Hard
But yeah,
man to miss.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think that, yeah. If I
That
see,
must happen. That must happen all the time in Iceland because, like, it's a small island, isn't it? And there's not that many people, so everyone just must see each other at the airport, getting off the island all the time. Oh, how are you? Where are you
yeah.
off to?
Yeah, so I mean that. Yeah, so you doing that. I mean, just let's touch on that. Then I mentioned it to begin with. So the Husafell World Record last year, I know it was held by Villius,
Brilliant. Yeah.
and then I think earlier in the year or last year, sort of Thor took the record, didn't he? And then and what was
Well, Thor took it at Iceland's, so he went just before me, basically.
oh so he okay so
Villiers
he
still
broke
had
the
the record,
record.
I think.
Okay, cool.
I think there's different records. I think Thor has like I think the Arnold's one year made a replica or the Rogue or something. So Thor
Mm,
had like an indoor record, but Villiers held the actual pen record.
yeah, yeah. And then so okay, so he had gone before you and broken the record,
Mhm.
and then you went after him and re-broke it. Because had let me have a quick look on here on my notes. I think you're the only person to go over 100 meters, aren't you, with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Levi might be second. I don't know. I don't. Oh, I think Thor did 90 meters, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Levi was 80 something.
Yeah,
He because he said we had him on last week and he
He's
like I
coming for
say
you.
no, but he'd never obviously been to Iceland. He'd never picked up the Husafell stone at all. But he said he was hoping to do really well,
yeah,
and he wanted and he in his mind he had I want to try and if we can do the world record, amazing. He was kind of really wanted and he came out first. And he won the event. No one got
yeah.
near
It's
him,
crazy.
which
Yeah.
was great to do that first time and go first and not know what you had to beat and just do it. But I mean, that's the first time you'd ever actually had your hands on the Husafell stone, was it? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, didn't I? Yeah, it
yeah.
was in Levi's credit, the conditions I had were genuinely perfect. It was like a sunny day. It was still cold, but it was like a
Mhm.
sunny day. Like
Mhm.
the floor was dry, so I bet Levi is pretty close. But yeah, it felt real good, and like I knew Villius was out after me as well, so I think that's why I did so well because it was the same at Europe's where I broke the shield because I think the two best guys, Pavlo and Kielskowski, were after me as well there, so you just have that thing in your head that's like keep going. But um,
Yeah.
I don't think that who's fell attempt I did was like 100% because you're
Mm.
allowed to re-grab it. So it started
Mm.
slipping. I just put it down because I wanted to do 3 laps because they said it wouldn't be done. And
Mm.
that is super, super cool for me. Like we're going off on a real tangent here, but like the Icelandic guys were like calling their dads and stuff to say like 100 meters has been broken and like they didn't think it would ever be, and the dads like wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
Uh, and then they said it's some English guy, and they were like, "Oh," but it does mean a lot, and yeah, really, really cool. And like that's more, I'm pr more proud of that than Giants World Record because like anyone can go and lift this stone, like anyone in the world could fly there and pick it up. Whereas like
Yeah.
Giants, it's like how many people realistically are going to pick that shield up? Like not many people have the opportunity to do that.
Mm.
Um, So yeah, just
No,
really
that
cool.
is
Like,
that's an incredible to have that world record. And you always set these, well, I say you as records get set, don't they? And then they're there as a marker for other people to come and
Mhm.
try and beat. So now you are your record is the one that now people are going to try and beat going forward. I mean, do you
I'm
think
not
you
very good at breaking records by like a small margin, clearly. Like I should have
yeah.
like done a centimeter a year, not
Yeah,
blast
because
it.
I
But
think the shield carry so it's very similar. So it's a front carry, obviously with the Husafel, and then the shield carry, front carry at Europe's. I think the
Mhm.
world record went from I think it was like 65 meters or something, and
Yeah.
then you took it just like I say, just a centimeter under 90 meters. Um, and you were just motoring with that, weren't you? Just up and just turning, and you
I
seem
was
to have a
being
really
cocky as well, to be honest. Not
yeah.
like me, but like that was the first comp Daisy's family came to. So like, and I knew where they were sat. So I turned to 80 and I just like gave her a little like wave basically or like a smile. And I was just like, who am I? Like, you scumbag. Like, crack on. But that's why I was like, that's the moment I'm most proud of again, because I had my whole family watching. Um, and like again, Europe's like me, like no one was really like, he came fourth at England's. He's a bit of like a cop out invite, like he'll probably come at ninth or tenth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think someone told me that's the most a strongman world record's been taken up by, like percentage wise, but like
Mm.
it's super niche stat, so it's like, is it interesting? Is
But
it
you've
good? Like,
almost taken it up by 50%, haven't you? To go
yeah.
from 60 meter, well, 65 up to 90, you're almost taking it up by 50%. So yeah, it's quite that is incredible. It'd be like someone, coming and doing a deadlift with 750 kilos,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's
I
It's
like
yeah.
just like you
I
couldn't
like
build a
4 meters in
human.
a high jump.
Yeah.
Wait, where did you come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's real cool. And like you just couldn't design a human being to be better at shield carry. Like I think I'm gonna get gradually worse at it the more weight I put on, but I'm very like I've got a very like flat chest and very long
Mm.
arms, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
help for log, but for carrying a heavy pebble or rock or
And
shield or
because you're
whatever.
tall as well, I suppose the way well, I say you're tall. I mean, you're not like overly tall for strongman, but you're sort of
6'3".
6'3", 6'3", So the way you had the shield, it's not the bottom of it's not getting in the way of your legs, is it? Kind
Yeah.
of, you know what I mean? It's not down near your knees, so you can't walk. It's not getting in the way of walking and things.
It's a hard one, that shield, because if you are built like say someone like Andre Foytu, like
Mm.
there's nothing you can do. Like you can't you can get better at breathing and but realistically, like it does depend on how you build. It's like front hold. Like I'm never gonna be the best at front hold just because skinny long arms. Like you watch
Yeah,
them like, but then again, Thor smashed it, so never say
yeah.
never.
So with the on touching on the next thing that I'll talk about is the 1,000 pound deadlift because you are. You are a good deadlifter, obviously, and everyone knew you're a good deadlifter. And when you went into that, is that what you had in mind, the 1,000 pounds? You thought you'd do that day, or that you far exceeded what you were hoping for?
I thought it was I thought there was a chance, you know what I mean? But there's
Mm.
always a chance.
Mm.
Um I'd pulled 430 at Will's gym, I think 3 weeks out, and it was nice. It was a real good rep. So normally for me, like my top end hasn't been there. I'm a reps guy. So I
Mm.
thought like, 440 is probably that, and then I thought like 1,000 is probably a bit far. But I had people like in fairness to him, Loz called it. Loz said like I think we'll pull 1,000. And like normally Loz is like super conservative and he's if anything, he's honest. Do you know what I mean? Like he'll tell you if you aren't up for something. Um, and I was like, okay, And then I pulled 440 and it wasn't that nice. Like I hitched it, but it wasn't. It's hard to describe. But like I knew it wasn't maximal. Um, and I think it looked harder than it was. And I sort of pulled 1,000 after it, almost nicer to be honest. But
Mm.
there was something in the air that day, honestly. Like that whole peak was like just perfection. Like shout out to my coach, but like every rep I did in training felt easy. Like everything just clicked. Like it's really hard to like everything just aligned, if you know what I mean. And it's nice when you get a block like that because even the rest of the comp went pretty well for me as well. To be fair, like there was two press events at six, so it was never or two shoulder events, sorry. So I was always up against it, but. That deadlift is like again, that was just another like they got such a cool shot of me like celebrating and then the crowd just you can see it for miles like
Mm.
proper core memory that. But because like £1,000 worth, like it's proper like I guess it's getting less exclusive, but that's a club of like respect. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
everyone in that club like respects like each other, and I think I'm probably the lightest strong man as well, which I don't know. It's not really a brag, but like it's just cool.
Oh,
Like
it is. It is from a relative. Yeah, like I say, 3.5 times body weight. So I think it's 454 kilos. Is that right? Is that 1,000 or 340?
yeah, 53 and a half or something like
53.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, but I mean, actually, I watched it again the other day, and it didn't look like it wasn't a struggle rep, was it? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You weren't kind of shaking and convulsing, and
No, yeah,
it was a nice smooth. It was a nice sort of smooth lift, wasn't it?
it was definitely all I was good for that day, but like
Yeah.
it's scale. Like I think I'll pull 470 this year. Do you know what I mean? Like with the progression. Um, Yeah, just it was nice because like I say I've always sort of doubted my top end strength, and
Mm,
we'd only been doing rep events. That was the first, like even Iceland's I think was 320 for reps. Everything's always reps, so it was nice just because we haven't pulled a 1 rep max for probably 14 months. So my PB going into that was 410, and that wasn't a nice rep. That was really hitched and like. So I was
mm,
thinking like 420 would be good, and then I pulled that 430 ahead of the comp, and I was like, oh, it's more than I thought. And
mm.
it was a lot more than I thought. 45 kilo PB. So if I do that again this year, we'll be flying.
Hey,
So you haven't. Yeah, go on,
your technique in the deadlift's interesting because you do a little lift on your knees first, don't you?
This
And then you
gets
get up.
people talking so
It
much. It's
does,
worth.
but it's because
Yeah.
like I've seen you, I've seen you on YouTube. You go to the comments on YouTube, and it's hilarious, isn't it? But like people are like you're wasting energy doing that, and you could lift heavier and blah blah and all that. And it's like, well, you know, but like, where does that come from?
I honestly, you could go back like 5 years, and I used to do it because I see people they used to like shake the bar, and I tried to do that, and I couldn't get off the floor, and I was like, well, I'm not getting anything from this. And I've always sat up on my knees because, especially in a tight suit, like it's the best way to get a breath in. I've never
Okay.
understood people that are like hunched over trying to breathe because if you get
Mm.
your brace while you're hunched over, you're not getting that full like body of air. So that's why I'm upright. Um, and I've always just found like I don't know. There is no. This is pure bro science, but like when I shrug, it doesn't. People like wasting energy. It doesn't take any. I'm just leaning back, like it's just leverage. And you can just feel the weight, and then you like know what to expect then when you pull it in a very basic terminology. But it just gives me a little bit of like if I can lift it on my knees, surely I can lift it when I use my feet. Like,
Well, no, that's what I think. I'm like, it's kind of giving you like central nervous system a thing of like, I can do
yeah,
this. Like,
yeah.
I've just done it, so I'll do it. I'll just have to do it standing up.
It's just like my switch. Like it's nothing gimmicky. It's nothing like
Yeah.
I do it for like to get people talking. I've just always done it. It helps me. And then you see in the suit as well, like I rock right back as well. I think like
Mm,
sort of Eddie Hall used to do, and that just feels good for me as well. But my
Mm.
favorite thing is when people like you see people like at the gym will copy it or try and do it, but like they'll do it like I only do that in a suit because the suit like holds that position. Like raw, I still do a bit of a shrug, but like a much higher hip. But you'll see people try to copy it raw and it'll be like all over the place. It's like even I don't do that, but I also don't recommend people do it because it's just a bit weird, but like it's just something I've always done and it works. So
I
well,
did
it works
try
for
that.
you.
I did try it once. The knee, when I was going for a heavy deadlift for me, I did the knee one. And like you say, I think it does just think because if it comes off the floor, you think, oh, I can lift that. You know what I mean? It's
mm,
that kind of that weird sort of psychological
yeah,
thing. And like you say, with a deadlift where you don't have the benefit of an eccentric kind of movement first, like in a squat or a bench or anything like that, you
yeah,
just have to lift it from the floor. And if you've got no, like you say, like Pete said, if your CNS doesn't know obviously you're going to try and recruit maximally every single thing you've got into the lift, but it still just probably primes you a little bit, I think. Yeah, which is amazing.
I think like with the long arms as well, like it for me it's off the ground when I'm perfectly upright. Like I guess if you had shorter arms, it
Mm,
wouldn't work. It just feels good.
yeah,
Leave me alone
no,
in the
that's great.
comments. It feels good. I want to do it.
And then let's touch on, I mean, the world's strongest man. We've got to talk about that because you qualified for that, I think, by placing in Europe's, didn't you? Is that
Yeah.
what got you? Yeah. So then you thought, right, I've got my place now. And like you say, first time going, you probably had. I don't know what your expectations were because when we spoke to you last time, you hadn't qualified. I think when we spoke last time, you were saying I really would love to qualify next year. I think you were talking
Mhm.
about 2026.
Yeah, I don't think they'd given me the Europe's call up yet. So like for
Yeah.
me, like everything, this is why everything that happened in that year is so crazy because like I thought I'd do Brits and maybe get one more giant show. Um, and that fourth Brits, like it was almost like I don't know, like I'm a big believer of this whole like everything happens for a reason, and like I missed the podium by half a point and I zeroed an event.
Mm.
Um, and I just took that as a bit of a sign, like maybe I'm not ready, like maybe it's we need a year of building and then I'll get back there. And I think I just took it a bit too much like that happened for a reason. And then I'd love to say like it fueled me for Europe's, but like Europe's I just like I went with no pressure. I knew I could still qualify for Worlds, but like if I'm honest in myself, I didn't believe I would. And
Mm.
then it got to the Stones and I was against Kielskowski. And at that point, I was just like, what is happening? Like, I think I was in fourth. And I beat Kielskowski in Stones, which is something I never like had on my bingo card.
Yeah.
So like for me, like being at Worlds was like complete, like not a fluke, like I earned it, but like I didn't think I would get to Worlds. So like me and like Daisy just enjoyed it so much because it was like in my head, I guess I didn't really believe that I belonged there. Um, and then yeah, we made the final. I was like, oh, I can do belong here. Do you know what I mean?
It was brilliant because like I was there at Britain's and it was like half a point. Was it did Flynn come third or Flowers? I can't
Flynn
remember.
came third by half
Flynn
point.
came third. So then he obviously goes, and then you get to go to Europe's and then get to go. So you both get to go, which was
Yeah,
absolutely amazing, wasn't it?
win-win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was just fantastic. Yeah. So and it
And
was like when you said it that as well, it was so close. That podium at Britain's was
Mm.
really close. So it was just, it was just unfortunate, wasn't it? But like you say, if it happened for a reason, that's fantastic. It was great to see.
yeah, so first time at Worlds, qualified for the final. Hopefully everyone who's watching this has watched over Christmas, like we said, Christmas and New Year. I mean, and then to come fifth, to be that. I mean, that was, yeah, just well, to tell us about it. What was the experience like of being
Yeah, I
world's
mean,
strongest man among all those athletes and being there in the sun and just all the rest of it.
it was crazy. Like everyone says, like the world is a shambles. Like it's not great for the athletes, but like you don't care. Like it is just such an experience. You're at the equivalent of the Olympics for your sport. Like we were just soaking it in. We were getting like all the photos. Like we were like tourists basically. Like we were just having fun and making the best of it. When I got my group, I thought, Jesus Christ, like. I thought it was a bit of a deaf group. Obviously, had Mitch Hooper in there, which is a bad start. Wes was in there, who'd come fifth the year before. Matt Ragg was in there, who came fourth the year before. And then this American freak of nature, Bryce Johnson, who I'm now quite good friends with. But
Yeah.
holy, that guy is huge. And then there's little Paddy Haynes. Um, and yeah, we pushed Mitch, which is really exciting. Like for me, this they changed the decider from a stone off to stones of the world or natural stone medley. And that for me, again, if I'm being honest, like before it, I was like, oh, that's another sign. Like, I'm not gonna make because if it had stone off, like I'd have backed myself against them boys. Like Bryce is unreal at stones, but I think I could beat him in a stone off because I think I've got the gas tank, but that's just me. I just really like stones. And this thing starting with a press, which I'm not good at, and then a shoulder, which haven't really had to do it much. I was just like, oh, it's just I'm not, there's a chance still, there's always a chance, but yeah, I was a bit like, oh man, I was a bit deflated about that. So we trained block press super, super hard, knowing I had to press that stone. Um, and luckily, like for me, like I was quite clear of third, fourth, and fifth, and it wasn't like if you win that event, you go through like it had been before. It was on the points, and I saw two guys in my group fail it, and I thought like at this point, like it's pretty certain that I will get through. And I cannot express to you the feeling like once I'd pressed that stone and got the down signal, like it was just pure elation. Like I knew I'd done it. I just stopped trying on that event because I was just buzzing. I was celebrating. I did shoulder the stone. I did carry the who's fell, but I couldn't really feel my legs. Do you know what I mean? It was just like I honestly like just way ahead of my expectations, way ahead. And I think since that comp, probably that's where the self-doubt sort of gone a bit, and I'm a bit more confident. And I do like even at Giants live shows now, I don't feel small in the lineup, even though I'm not that much bigger. I think just I'm not that skinny kid that I was in my brain following Britain's, where I'm like, oh, I'm not strong enough to compete at this level yet, or be at the top. And everything changed after Europe's and Worlds. That was the mentally, that's a huge thing for me. And yeah.
And now I suppose after being on TV, over Christmas a lot and New Year and everyone watching, you're gonna. I know within the strongman kind of world and community, you're very well known now, obviously, and everyone knows who you are. But you're going to start getting recognized in supermarkets and when you're out and about, I'd imagine.
They're going to be throwing their knickers at you and all that sort of stuff.
So you'll be more of a, be more of a, more
what's
well
your
known.
what's your new nickname? Because you're no longer the dark horse, are you? I think I saw something about that during it was in one of the competitions, I think, and they were introducing you. It was like, no longer the dark horse, Paddy Haynes. So have you got a new
At
one?
the minute, I think I'm just the horse, but I want to win an international, and then I'll be like, you can call me the Stallion now, and I'll evolve into that. But I need to earn it first. I'm just a horse at the minute. I'm just a guy.
Just the horse. Right, that's fair enough. We'll go with that.
That's excellent.
That's the title for this episode.
It's nice,
the horse,
the horse.
the horse.
And
Yeah,
then you
last
get
one
me
was
back
the
on in a year's time. But it's really nice where I'm from. Like I'm from a little village called Adderbury, which no one will have heard of. The community is really nice. Like the local village pub, the Bell shows World's Strongest Man. They played it all over Christmas. And my jersey's on the wall and stuff. And it's just real supportive, and like that's a real small community. Where Daisy and I have just moved to is in Banbury. That's obviously a bit of a bigger town, but yeah, I get recognised a little bit here and there, and it's nice. But I just want to be like that relatable guy, but also like that friendly face. Like I wasn't born a genetic freak that you can't relate to. I do a lot for the community as well. Like we put the strongman comps on. We try and get people doing strongman in the area because before me and a guy called Steve, like it just wasn't a thing. I got very, very lucky how I got into strongman, as we spoke about last time, and yeah, so just growing it and like showing people that you can do incredible things without being, like don't get me wrong, like my genetics for strongman have been fantastic. Like at school, I could always jump higher than people, I could always run faster than people, and I was quite strong for a beanpole. And these hands, quite hilarious. So it was always there, but like I'm not your classic like strongman build, am I? Like I'm not a 180 kilo lump.
We were talking to Chris Beetham about this, and I don't think I mentioned it. It came into my head, and I don't think I mentioned it. But like he was saying, it's great for his kids and stuff like that because they see him do all this stuff, and it's like you guys are to kids because you know how how in school when your teacher's like 100 years old and they're only 40.
Yeah.
To kids, you are like the biggest guy, the biggest, strongest. I mean, you are the biggest, strongest guys in the world, but like you're like superheroes, you're like bona fide superheroes, aren't you? So, like you say in your area, if you're doing putting on competitions or just getting kids involved and stuff like that, because it's like maybe something to think like, well, I can't do that. I'm the small kid, and it's like, well, you might not win worlds, but at least you can be the strongest small kid in the community, or the strongest kid in the community, even.
100%. I think for a lot of your classic strongmen, they were like maybe like the chubby kid in school, whereas for me it was like I was the small one. I was always tall, but I was like skinny, and it's just like you can do whatever you want to do if you commit yourself hard enough to it. And I do get like a lot of parents and like say like, oh, you're my kid's favorite. I think my theme tune's the song from Cars that I walk out to from Giants. That's always very, very popular. And like, we sell the kids' teas and stuff. And it's just as important. Like, if you can inspire the next generation coming up, you're going to have a huge heap of fans there. Like, it's sort of a demographic that a lot of the people avoid because, your classic bald head, beard, smelly strongman. It's not like, you've got to be able to like appeal to all age groups and like, what to do and how to talk to people. And I just want to be that friendly face that people are like, he's all right, he is, he's not cocky, but he's also, he gets the job done, and that's sort of where I put myself.
Excellent. Yeah, we've got 4 ladies coming down to your comp at the farm next year from the gym, all booked up and stuff. So that's great. I was looking, I think the novices, it's all sold out. You've really filled up, haven't you? It's all like sold out.
I was just going to touch on that. That farm comp has been a passion project. Like, I love it. It's my favorite thing ever. The first 2 years I ran it, I had to get my friends to compete in it because I couldn't sell it. Like,
Mm,
we always had like I think 60 people did the first year, but like across
mm,
loads of categories and whatever.
mm,
And then I launched it this year. I did like a secret launch because I was like, I'm just gonna make it fair. I'm just gonna put it up. It was live for 2 days. No one knew, and a few people signed up.
mm.
And then I'd post on Instagram, and Inter sold out within half an hour. The novices sold out an hour later, and it's like I wish I could facilitate more people, but
Mm.
I'm just a guy. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a big farm, so I think we got 120 people competing over the
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh,
But like we've got a
awesome.
great team here now. This will be the fourth year we've ran it. Sponsors are on board as well this year, which before I was paying for everything out of my own pocket, whereas this year it should be a bigger event, more scalable, food trucks um and I've got a team like Daisy will help me organize it. My parents know what they're doing now. It's like it's not just me. It's nice. And I've got good pals, good friends and family, and it's
Yeah,
nice.
that's great because we had our well last week when we had our Christmas do for the gym. We were going through and the
3 weeks
ladies were
ago.
saying, "Boss, yeah," and they were saying, "Oh, we're all booked on," and then we were all looking on it, and there was people going, "Oh, I want to do it," and then, "Oh, I sold out. Oh, I sold out. I sold out." Because it's yeah, like you say, it's really popular, and you got all those. I think there's still a few places, maybe in the what's it called, the Masters. You've got
Yeah.
like an over 105s and an under 105s, haven't you? I think.
Well, I put that on because last year the Masters was the one that sold out.
Mm,
I had lots of like, I do work with quite a few Masters, females and males, and
mm,
that was sort of my niche. So that filled out, and then I thought, let's open more up. And
mm.
yeah, you know, I feel for the Masters guys because they're like, you turn 40 and you want to compete, but if you're a 90 or 100 kilo bloke, you got to compete against potentially Loz,
Yeah,
Terry Hollands, Drunas, like that sort of shape
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
It's like, maybe just make like an under and an over, and then it
yeah,
should encourage more people to fight fair. Like, the same as the novice comp really for me, because like I always use my friend Max as an example, but he's 150 kilo guy, and his first comp he did complete novice, never touched any strongman kit, and it's like, oh, you're going to walk the floor with this. He's like, well, no, like really like complete novice, like, but everyone's like, oh, should he be doing this category? And you're like, yes, and I
yeah,
I don't know if he did win, to be honest, I can't remember, but like you know, if you're a 60 kilo man and you want to try it, you don't want to be against someone like that because it's not fair. Like it would put you off. So trying to separate them, not with an official weight cut, I've just put it as like a guide to like put people in the right category. But
mm,
again, encourage as many people to take part and make it as inviting and as friendly and as encouraging as possible. And it always has been that farm comp.
mm,
The last event, everyone's always just round in a big circle cheering each other on, and it's just
yeah.
so wholesome, and that is very much what I'm here for.
Oh,
It's
that's
funny. It's
fantastic.
funny you say all that because James went up against John Valgair Williams, didn't you?
Oh,
In a competition, and you know him. He's Magnus's ex training partner. He was the only guy who
Yeah,
could keep up with Magnus's training. He's like 6 foot. He's 6'6" or
he's
something like
six
that
foot six. Yeah, yeah.
because he's shrunk because he had a hip replacement. He's
yeah,
Yeah, but that was at Ipswich. Yeah, that was Andrew Lane was there for that as well. That was good. That was good fun. Yeah, but
It's
that
when
was
you
a
hand
master.
out
That
the
was
t-shirts and it's like 3XL, 4XL, 3XL, medium,
medium.
4XL.
I've actually started wearing larges now.
Sorry, Joe,
I've
sorry.
started wearing larges. No, that's great. So just quickly before we wrap up, the next thing that's on your horizon, I believe, is the Brits again. Is it in February?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
5th of February? 6th of February.
It's when
Early
I
February.
remember it's because you're going, Pete, aren't you?
I'll be there. Yeah, it's all
You're
booked. I
going.
can't remember. I don't know when it is. Sean will tell me.
I'm snowboarding again, but I was snowboarding last year and I watched it in the chalet because I logged on to the official Strongman. So I'll be watching it in France again. But that's one that you are going. You're going to the Brits. What's the aspirations for the Brits in February? Would you say?
The Genuinely, I will say this because we've been so like hectic this last few months, but the aspiration for Brits is to enjoy myself. I've already qualified for Worlds through the Royal Albert Hall, so whatever happens, I'll be happy. But like, I certainly want to be on the podium, put it that way. But it's I perform better when I'm enjoying myself and I'm like in my element. Like the worst comp I did this year, even though I won it, was England's. I was throwing up my breakfast. I put way too much pressure on myself because in my head, you come fifth at Worlds. How can you not then win your national title? Like that's weird. So I was like, I have to win England's. And honestly, like I made myself so sick. Like Daisy was fed up with me. So purely, I'm running on vibes at Brits. I'll be smiling, I'll be laughing, I'll be jumping around lots, and I will be a savage.
And is you said you've qualified again, obviously for Worlds through podiuming at the Royal Albert Hall. Is that at Myrtle Beach again next year, or is that at Sacramento? Do we know where that is?
No, I think it's Myrtle Beach. I think
Okay.
nothing official's been put out yet, but it's
Yeah.
funny because last year, like Daisy was still in the NHS. I qualified with 3 weeks' notice that we needed a week. I was trying to sort my medical visas, all that, and then this year it's like 9 months away. Like we've done complete the other end of the spectrum. I was like took the first qualifying spot of the year as opposed to the last one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to be
really
careful
nice.
because they'll be checking your social media and all that, won't they, in the States? So
Yeah,
we need to get in. You'll be going, delete.
Yeah. Like last year, I was just like, oh, I'm just here to, tourism.
This is fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Paddy. If people now, I know as well, since we spoke last, your YouTube has blown up, and you've got close to 200,000 followers on there now, I think. Because I remember when we spoke last time, you said one of the things you said was, right, I'm going to start doing my YouTube more and taking that more seriously and build that up. And that was only 8 months ago, whatever it was, 9 months ago, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's my priorities are all over the place. But for now, like I've sort of restricted my coaching because that was like on the pyramid. The coaching was the bottom 2/3, I would say. And I had a lot of clients. I was stressed, so that's gone right down. I've got a very small team now that I sort of look after, and now I'm pushing the merch is probably the next best thing, and then the YouTube. So next year with the YouTube, like we want to start doing big projects, like where we travel and we, do more and more, which is really exciting. And try and make that a bit more professional and like keep pumping videos out that we're really proud of. And then really push the merch. That's what's doing really well at the minute. And I've got loads of new stuff coming, which is super, super exciting to me. And that's what I really enjoy as well. Like
Yeah.
running that brand that's the fun for me.
Excellent. So at Paddy_Strongman on Instagram, just type in Paddy Strongman on YouTube and you'll find you. The merch stuff, just go via the link tree or whatever on the Instagram, isn't it? We've got a nice
Painstrengthmerch.com.
yeah, we got a nice Paddy Haynes banner up at the gym now. We'll put up this week, which is
That's
definitely
good.
which is cool. I'm wearing the hat as well. You can get everything through Paddy's merch, which is great. Please do give him a subscribe on YouTube, and please do give him a follow on Instagram, and just keep an eye on everything that Paddy's going to be doing over the next 12 months, which is going to be amazing. Yeah, that was good, Peter, wasn't it? Catching up with Paddy.
It was all right, yeah.
It was all right.
I'm glad to
Not my
see
favorite guest.
I'm glad to see your YouTube channel has done really well since you because of coming on the health.
Yeah.
Very, very. So thank you, everybody. Please do like, share, subscribe. If you're watching or listening on a platform that allows you to leave a review, do that, especially Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star review on there. And if you don't yet follow us or subscribe on YouTube, do that as well. We will be back next week with episode 281. Peter will be seeing you, Paddy, at the Brits. I will be seeing you at the Royal Albert Hall. And
we've got that booked as well, don't worry.
You're doing that as well? You're going to be at the Royal Albert Hall
Sean's
as well?
all over it. Basically, she booked this year for Brits the day after last year, and then she's already sorted up Royal Albert Hall out as well.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Great, I don't have to do anything.
And then at some stage, Paddy is incredibly busy, as you've heard. At some stage, Paddy will be joining us at Unique Results for a workshop or a seminar, but that is TBC in the new
2029
year.
book tickets now.
2029 book tickets.
For Paddy's 30th birthday.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Paddy.
My pleasure, guys.
Brilliant. See you later, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Health Odyssey with Peter Lant and James St. Pierre. To get your regular fix of hype-free health, you can subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your favorite podcasts. You can find out more on today's and other topics at healthodyssey.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for Health Oddity.